Anyway, welcome back to All Sorts of Sports.
Sorts of sports.
I always want to keep going, and it's just before I can keep.
Oh yeah. I know. Now you have to deal with the same shit I used to.
I forget what episode number this is. I think it's 112.
112. 112.
Yeah. There we go. All right. Favorite 112 song.
Only one I remember, Peaches and Cream.
Yeah. Okay, same.
Yeah, I was like,
you gotta pull up the catalog.
I was like, that's the only answer.
That's it. That's it.
And I heard it the other day, and I did not like it.
It still holds up for me. I like it.
It did not hold up for me.
I like it. Now, the subject matter, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that like the actual lyrics hold. I'm saying the song still sounds good. It's something that I would hear at like an R&B only type vibe or some shit like that. I'd be cool with that.
No, I was in middle school when that song came out, and I had big ass lips, and they called me a Marion. And for some reason, because girls didn't understand,
they call you everything,
and they called me a lot of stuff. But there was like Pieces of I was Uncle Phil too, like a few months later. But
how the fuck you go from a Marion?
I can see. I was just like, that's wild. That's
I started shaving my head. Like real early. As soon as I shaved the head, I was Uncle Phil, not a Marion anymore. But all the girls, because Peaches and Cream was like the thing, so they were like, because Kadeem has big lips, he eats good pussy in 6th grade, and I was like,
no, that was the thing.
I'm gonna give it a shot.
I remember in middle school, a girl asked me, like, well, girls were, it was like we were in like fucking PE or something, and girls were going around asking all the guys like, what's your shoe size? And I was like, at the time, I probably was wearing like an 8 or whatever, and it was like, and they were like, ooh, Shaquem. I was like, I really didn't understand what it meant at the time, but then like I asked the girl, and I was like, why? She was like, well, if you got big feet, you got, and I was like, oh, okay. You're right. You're right.
The beard joint, because I had a beard in middle school, and they were like,
"You had a what?"
I had a beard, like my beard connected in middle school.
You have like a chin strap.
Yeah, I had that.
You had a pencil chin strap rocking your Rolex and Audi, right? You little motherfucker.
It wasn't a pencil chin strap.
Did you wear like a little necklace? You fucking Guido.
Yeah, I had a necklace. Yeah, it was my name in hieroglyphics.
You come to school like a goddamn. What? Your name in hieroglyphics?
Yeah, like
you showed to school like
that does not surprise me, but it's still funny.
We was in Egypt. So I got one of the little chains.
You you're fucking AJ from The Sopranos.
Good thing
I'm still rewatching that. I gotta finish the first season. I need to get back to that.
Just show up to school losing Rolexes left and right. James's chin strap.
It was only one time, bro.
All right, so NBA playoffs are in swing. First round still going on. Most teams, I think every team has played at least 3 games right now so far.
Can I get my apology out the way?
Let him finish.
You don't even know what we're gonna talk about.
We're gonna talk about this because I just want to get out the way.
But every team's played for 3 games except a couple. I think, yeah, because Boston's up 2-0 right now.
Every team's played for 3 games except
they play today.
Yeah, only Boston hasn't played.
Only Boston, Brooklyn. And so I just kind of want to check in with you guys and kind of see what your impressions are, like how you feel about your picks. You know, some of your picks have changed because of the way games have went, and like some of our picks are looking in jeopardy because of, you know, some dominance or some like, how the fuck did you let this team beat you at home in the second fucking game? But we're not going to get into that right now. So let's start with you, James, since you wanted to get your shit off.
All right. I was wrong about Philly. Yeah. The games were close. But I was wrong. Like I had the Raptors in 6, and that's clearly already wrong.
It's mathematically impossible now.
Yeah. But Joel Embiid did get hurt, which we kind of assumed would happen at some point, which sucks. You never want to wish injury on anybody or like dispatch
you
it
knock
before it
on
happened.
wood. What was it? It already happened.
Because he don't want him to get any more hurt than he already
Right,
is.
because they said like it's a ligament sprain, but I don't want it to be like a point where like it's like, oh, he tore the whole ligament off the bone.
Timmy
Apparently he's gonna
died
play
yesterday. You just gotta hope that.
Because today's what, today's the 23rd, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's supposed to play tonight. So hopefully he doesn't injure it anymore. That's why I knocked on wood, asshole.
Seemed late.
I mean, I
see
didn't know before.
Where were your knocks before, bitch?
Nah, fuck that. But yeah, I mean, they'll probably win tonight, which sucks. But yeah, so I was wrong. I was wrong about that one. I was right about Dallas though. But if y'all want to get to that later, we can.
I think we all picked Dallas.
We did.
We did, but I think there was a caveat in regards to Luka being there, and I said we'd win without Luka too.
I said you guys had no chance without Luka. But what I also said was that Utah fucking sucks a dick. So there's a balance there, right? So like I totally get it. Like what Keem kind of led up with the thing was if we start with the Mavericks, they're doing a lot better without Luka than I could have ever expected them to, right?
I think I added in mine was like that defense because of Jason Kidd. I think I said this. It's the reason that they'll do well without Luka. It's just being able to score was my only worry, and they've been able to.
Here's the thing with scoring: just play small ball, and Rudy Gobert can't do shit because he can't go outside the perimeter fucking defend. Overrated piece of shit. Beyond those, I'm just like, look, Dallas in Phoenix, as far as that matchup that's looking like it probably will come up in the second round, is going to be really interesting as far as like a war of attrition. But if Dallas can keep Luka out this series and get it done, it's huge because it allows Luka to do the rest thing and to bring it back. Look, the calf thing to me is the thing that it lingers, but you, especially in the playoffs, people usually rush back on a timetable before they need to come back, right? Because we're facing elimination. You got to come back. We got to play at our full strength to get this done. If they could do it, amazing job by Dallas. And if you have a healthy Luka in the second round against a Phoenix team that doesn't have a Devin Booker, things get really interesting in the West, in my opinion.
Well, Devin Booker's not playing that
right.
whole series because it was what, like 2 to 4 weeks time frame?
2 to 3 weeks. And that's the thing, though. He could come back for the Dallas series, right? Because it just be late. And it just also depends on how long Phoenix and Utah kind of drag their first round series. Because if Phoenix, because I mean, the way the Pelicans are playing, like they played them fucking close. They should have won last night. And so like they played them real close, better than I thought. So I told y'all fucking Brandon Ingram. I fucking told y'all he is the one. But anyway, and so they played them close.
Imagine if he was still in LA.
Listen, I think I tweeted this. You say you gonna make me want to rant. I think I tweeted this. But Brian could have won a championship with the young Laker core pieces. If you look at it, if they had kept Julius Randle, Lonzo Ball, and Brandon Ingram, that's a fucking championship team.
And D'Angelo Russell.
And D'Angelo Russell, but they traded him like after they drafted Lonzo. So, but I agree with that as well. And then they had Jordan Clarkson. We had a fucking squad. They drafted well. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
GM LeBron is great.
I fucking hate him.
Hey, right, so, you know what? Here's a question.
I can't wait.
GM LeBron better than GM Jordan?
Yes.
Is GM LeBron better than GM Jordan?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
GM Jordan's the worst then, right?
GM Jordan's bad, but he's finally, well, now this is team president Jordan. This is a little different. It's like owner Jordan. But you know, GM with like de facto GM Jordan that we saw in Washington.
I was going to say GM Jordan's best player was Washington Wizards Jordan.
Pretty much.
I mean, he traded Richard Hamilton. So I guess, you know.
Oof.
I love Rip. Rip was one of my guys.
Yep.
We had both. We had Hamilton. We had both Wallaces at one point. There's a lot of people that came through Washington in the 90s. If you want to be depressed about both
Wallaces, what do you mean? Which one?
Sheed and Ben.
Okay, because I was thinking Gerald. I don't know. My first thought was like, y'all had Gerald Wallace. But
not Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucking Juwan.
Shit, you might have had Gerald Wallace too.
It may be. I mean, that's the thing, is like a lot of people came through Washington whatever. In the East, as far as the Philadelphia stuff, I'm loving what I'm seeing for Philly. You're right about the Joel Embiid thing. That's a little scary. I think the only series right now that I have completely wrong, like it can't end up the way that I thought it was the Milwaukee Chicago series, which I had. That was the only sweep that I called in the first round. Other than that, I'm looking fairly decent as far as my picks. I'm not like the Phoenix New Orleans thing. I still think Phoenix is going to pull that out. But like without Devin Booker, do I have Phoenix now in the championship? No. I think that's blown. And I think Golden State ends up being that team, but I had them making it all the way to the conference finals and winning in 7 and losing in 7. So if I flip that, I don't feel terrible about my picks. I was right preseason wise on Jordan Poole though. Fucking nailed that shit. I don't know, man. These guys, it's all shaping up the way that I kind of expected. I still even think the Brooklyn-Boston series, it's down 0-2, but I don't think that it doesn't necessarily, but I think it's far from over.
It's definitely far from over. As far as the picks stuff on my end, some of my picks are in jeopardy, but it's not picks as in like I'm worried about my team. The team that I picked is going to lose this series. None of those picks are in jeopardy. I picked the right team in each of them. And so like Golden State is doing better against Denver than I thought they would. I think I picked Golden State in 6. They're winning in they're up 3-0 right now. Might sweep them, probably win. I'd say at least in 5. But that's not that's not super surprising, but it's a thing where I told you guys Golden State is the best team in the West. They are the best team in the West. It wasn't close. Like even with the healthy Phoenix, I wasn't worried about them. I was never worried about them because when they both were at the top and healthy, I think Golden State was better. And they were beating their ass in the regular season. I know you can't put a whole lot you can't put too much stock in what happens in the regular season. I'm aware of that. But I think with Chris Paul being Steph's son, Devin Booker versus Clay, I think that will kind of even out. You're telling me where's the matchup that they win from a positional standpoint, from a coaching standpoint? Golden State takes it. When you look at roster to roster, they take it. The entire thing. You're going to go Steph over CP3. You might go D-Book over Clay, but it's close enough to where you can be like, all right, Clay, you can kind of make up for what Devin Booker offers Phoenix. He's not enough to put them over the top. Mikal Bridges, give me Wiggins, and then I give that a push. Draymond, giving that to Draymond. Looney versus Ayton. I give it to Ayton, but we know the closing lineup isn't going to be Looney. It's going to be Draymond against Ayton, and I'm not worried about that. And then they probably bring either Iggy or Otto Porter or Gary Payton off the bench. So Phoenix were never coming out of the West if Golden State was healthy, in my opinion.
I don't think Phoenix is getting past Dallas. So
yeah, I'm sure. And they might not now. I do want to get into that because they might not now. I think the Devin Booker injury changes that for Phoenix. I don't think they can get past Dallas without Booker. And this could be Luka's first lucky conference finals run. He's in his LeBron bag. And then luck is a part of winning championships.
And you need one.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. And this could be him making a name for himself. Like, and so, but yeah, so Golden State looks great. Brooklyn and Boston, I still think Brooklyn is going to win that series. We're talking about a series where Brooklyn should have won game 1 and KD didn't play well. They shouldn't have won game 2 and they didn't, but KD hasn't played well yet. And I don't think that's going to continue. I'm sure he hears it's been a lot of trolling from Golden State fans, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been a lot of, hey, can't win without Steph. No. And I really appreciate that.
As soon as he gets to the locker room, the first thing he does is go to Twitter. Like, you've seen it. Like, they won one game, like the last regular season game or something. And then Kyrie's in the locker room like, yeah, man, like, yeah, that felt like a playoff game. You see KD right to Twitter, right next to him. It's like he can't help it. So he's seen all that shit. He's seen it all.
Yeah, he's seeing it. And so with that, I would also say like KD is I'm sure he's gonna come out like in these next few games and show them who he is and everything, and they'll still win that series. If they don't, I do think his legacy is gonna take a hit. It takes an insane hit for me because you got to at least get out of the first round series. Because this year you have no excuse.
It's different though.
What?
This isn't a first round series matchup.
It's not, but he should win it. But he's their favorite. They should win this. They should win. It's not a first round. This is more of a second round or conference finals even.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But he should still win it because looking at the rest of their path after this, I'm not really worried about anybody except for Milwaukee.
Which they would have to play next.
Chris Middleton is out. Chris Middleton is out.
Yeah, and he's out for at least two. He'll be reevaluated in 2 weeks.
Right.
So
right. So some of that injury luck that teams got last year, it's coming back around. Karma, everything, it always comes back around. Phoenix had the best injury luck last year, not looking good this year. Same for Milwaukee. That's how they got to the finals. And so I just
Boston's good.
Boston is good. Boston is really good.
I just don't want to really overlook. Boston could absolutely win this series.
Yeah, with and Robert Williams is coming back.
And with a Chris Middleton injury, like I'm not picking against Giannis, but Boston can get past them, and Boston and Philly, I think that's also a tough matchup. Like I don't know. I think that this right now, this has the capability right here in the series. If Boston can pull this out, I think that it's not crazy to think that they're on the path to winning this thing, winning the whole thing.
It's not for sure, and it's similar to, for me, Tatum's story is similar to Luka's in that this playoffs could make them. This could be like, oh, we've arrived. Like we already know they're great all-stars and stuff like that. But if both of them can carry to a point where it's like, oh, they're both top 5 heading into next season. You know what I'm saying? Like, or they're both at least top 6, top 7 heading into next season. Then I think that it's significant in a sense of it's a changing of the guard, right? Because you got like KD's 32, 33, right? Steph is 34. Like all the guys we love are kind of getting older, right? But anyway, back to KD and his legacy. It's more so a thing that, hey, you wanted to get out of this Golden State system, this motion offense. You wanted to ISO a little bit more. And then I saw his complaint on Twitter where like they're doubling me. Yeah. Crazy when you ain't got the gravity guy. When you ain't got the guy that they was doubling because they scared that he gonna shoot from 30 no more. Yeah, they gonna double you now. Yes, buddy. But I'm sure KD's gonna adjust and go off. I'm sure he is. I believe in him. But I don't know if that like is something that he realized when he was with Golden State.
Yeah. But going back to one of the previous points you said, KDot, I gotta give KDot some credit. He said that a long time ago, like maybe like last offseason, where he was like, last year might have been like one of the final years where like the people that we love will win a chip. Mm-hmm. Then it's like all the new people come.
I remember that. I remember you saying that, and I said one more year, and this is the one more year. This is the Steph year, I think, or the KD year.
I think Golden State would be really interesting as far as being that one more year in the sense of how many young guys are major contributors on what it is that they're doing. I think it's a nice bridge thing. But also the thing about the Golden State stuff, especially in the first 2 games, with how Steph underrated as far as from a leadership standpoint, always willing to take the backseat to let somebody cook, as he did with KD those years, to still stand firm. Steph could have been doing all the stuff that we saw Steph doing and still winning championships without KD. It's just we saw a different version of him when KD was there because he adjusts to what the team needs. I still tell people the scariest point of Steph Curry's career is yet to come. And it's when he's coming off the bench, spot shooting, and doing his shit. It's going to be a problem, especially if he ends up doing what I hope he does, being a mercenary type. We're seeing a little bit of what Steph might look like in that next frame, which is why I love seeing where this Golden State team is, and almost this tweener stage of different eras. Like you're starting to see them kind of change the guard to the young guy, and it's all happening on that team compared to most of these other teams. You're going to see like LA, all these guys are going to hit a certain age, and we're just going to have to clean house and start again. And Golden State's the only one that looks like they're actually running it this way. And you got Boston, who's just younger guys altogether as far as the core.
They're running it like a soccer club.
Who?
Golden State. Where you have like they have academies and they bring up players to the first team. It's kind of like the same shit.
No, I just think that's a competent franchise.
Who else is doing that?
I mean, for the most part, what you try to do is have like certain systems in place to make sure that your team's never really faltering, right? So like when I look at in the NFL, I look at like the Ravens, who usually are known for certain things on defense, known for offensive line. They're constantly moving and churning through things. Maybe they have some issues with some skill players like receivers, but they're always going to be in the conversation. When you look at New England, defense is always going to be in the conversation because of the way that they draft versatile players. They can usually play almost anywhere on the front seven. If you get somebody on the defensive line, they're usually interchangeable. Same thing with the linebackers. They have a system in place that works, and they keep churning shit out. And this is what it is. It's just the best organizations to me have the game plan.
I'm saying in the NBA, who does that?
In the NBA, it's been hard to do because of the way that the player empowerment, or whatever you want to say, is called, right? So it's like, even if you try to, well, I mean, the process as far as fucking Philly, right? If they still had Ben Simmons in there and he was actually producing, you'd look at them and be like, hey, but no.
Yeah, Fultz. And
fucking just all right, but yeah, whatever. The only other series that has been interesting to me is the Minnesota-Memphis thing. Minnesota, that fucking choke job. That was rough.
I think we all said they pushed them though. I think we all.
I have Minnesota in 7.
Yeah, and I think I had Memphis in 6, and I said that I could see them, basically going back to Memphis tied 2-2.
Nah, but we in Minnesota now.
But bro, he sounded so fucking corny when he said it too. It was just like, we in Minnesota. He said Minnesota.
Yeah, he didn't say Minnesota.
Fargo accent.
We saw him
in Memphis, but we in Minnesota. I'm like,
yeah,
all right, my
like,
G.
fam,
Like Cat be talking like he done won championships.
His voice matches his play, and it's annoying.
Yeah,
his voice matches his play.
Here's the only thing I'm gonna say about Cat is the same thing there are certain guys, depending on, look, everybody gets coached a little bit differently, right? Like, even when I was a coach doing fucking sales, you couldn't have the same approach for coaching everybody. Everybody's a little bit different.
Right.
We can see Karl Anthony Towns does not respond to guys yelling at him to get shit. The Jimmy Butler, rah, 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 this is what you're doing, this is how you need to do better. Doesn't seem like it fits. Even, what was the coach? Was it Thibodeau? Whoever the fuck.
Yeah, Thibodeau was there.
Yelling coach to try it. I think it just rubs him the wrong way, the same way it probably did Andrew Wiggins. The Anthony Edwards new kind of crop of guys that they have in that locker room are much more of a positive reinforcement side of thing.
They're put my arm around you guys.
Right. Which is kind of like, and sometimes you need that. Like, you even watch The Last Dance. There was like, hey, Jordan was rah, rah, rah. Pippen was put his arm around you, and he knew how to kind of shoulder the brunt of some of this. Same thing in Golden State. While Draymond's yelling his head off, you got Steph will tell you after practice, hey, man, don't worry about it. That's just Draymond. He does that. We like what you're doing. Do this and the other.
Yeah, but like, looking at what Draymond says to his teammates is kind of the put my arms around you. It doesn't look like it.
But it's not though. It's not delivery, because it is the same thing.
It's coaching
way, but it's delivery.
It's I'm gonna take. I remember the video of James Wiseman.
Yeah, but like I don't know if you saw this, but Poole. There's a story about how Poole like reacted negatively a couple times to like Draymond like kind of doing the bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Steph doesn't do that with him, Steph, and like sometimes people want to fight Draymond. And he does essentially the same thing as Steph. He just delivers it differently. And nobody wants to fight Steph.
But that's the point. Is like the delivery system is
how you say it.
Right. Yeah. The positive reinforcement. It's all about, I want to make it better. It's all about love. but there's a certain difference in the way you do it. And I think the way that Minnesota is doing it right now, the only thing that I thought was a chink in the armor was that collapse that they had. Was it felt like after the celebration sort of thing, it's more of about like a have fun sort of mentality with them. Anthony Edwards can do either or. Anthony Edwards can talk like Draymond, but he's got a smile on his face the entire time. He's always just having a good time.
Looks exactly like Jordan.
I think Anthony. I'm putting it out there. I've been saying it. I know you guys. Every time I would say something about Anthony Edwards, y'all were like, "You mean like as a personality?" Like you guys like Anthony Edwards is a fucking monster, and he's going to be. Give it 2 years. He's a top 10 player. I think it's easily he's a top 10 player, and I really think
top 10 player after next year.
I think that 2 years, like give it, and after next year, I think he's right there in the conversation. If he made All-Star next year, I wouldn't be completely blown away.
He will be. I think he will be.
But I just think the way that they're kind of bringing those guys together, I think that's going to get the most out of Cat. So I really do think, once again, up until that collapse game, because that just looked bad. But
what do you mean the most out of Cat?
I think that Cat has lacked the killer instinct, right? We all say that he's like the killer instinct and the physicality that he needs to play the size that he has.
That's the part.
Yeah, but quick interjection. Yeah. And it's a question for you, KDot and James. I want you both to answer this. You talked about Anthony Edwards, how great he is. I agree with you. I think James agrees. Would you trade Cat right now and try to get a different piece to build around Anthony Edwards? And do you know who you would trade him for?
I don't know who I'd trade him for. Yeah, that's
Because basically what I'm asking you is, do you think the core that is right there, even just letting them get older, Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell, Cat?
I'd give it another year. I'd be okay with waiting another year.
If you can offload Cat and get Bam and like Duncan Robinson or something like that.
I don't know if I don't see. I'm still looking at Cat for potential, and I don't know if we've unlocked.
At what point is potential?
I get it, but I'm saying that this particular recipe of guys, right? I think we're starting to see Cat kind of change just a bit.
What does Cat do that you need for that team?
Space shooting and from a center position, being able to hit the three, I think it's huge. His size, even though he doesn't use it right, his size is still a thing. Like size, he rebounds. Size always matters because you can't teach size. And so
I mean, you get Bam for that.
Yeah, but
I get that. But is Bam better than Cat?
Defensively, yeah.
But come on, overall,
is he better?
That's if
you ask me if I'm Utah, would I get rid of Rudy Gobert for Bam? Yeah, I'd do that. I fucking do that in a heartbeat. But it's but I'm not. But for Cat, there's another part. There's too much to his game.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Like I give it another year because I'm looking at this team. I'm like, Anthony Edwards is starting to establish himself as a leader in that locker room. Like I don't know.
Years, fam. Like
but
he's already had so much time.
I get it, but we haven't had the particular squad that kind of works with him and his personality type.
Okay, James, I'm gonna add. I say this because I get where you're coming from. I completely understand, but I don't think Cat doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to be Kevin Garnett to win a championship, right? It's when you have a guy like Anthony Edwards. He has to be
second banana.
Pau Gasol. And what I mean by that is Pau was seen as soft too. And Kobe kind of toughened him up some. Like, you don't have to be Pau's still a finesse player, which is what Cat is.
But he would get down in the paint and bang.
He can remain a finesse player. He just needs to be tough in moments. He needs to be tough in the right moments. And that's all. And that's what I think KDot is trying to say. Like, he can just elevate just a little bit.
Now, let me ask you this question.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
What have you seen that change in the mentality from before Anthony Edwards got there till now?
Yeah. He's gotten better.
I've seen the same shit.
He's gotten better.
He's gotten better.
This year, he's really trying to pop his shit. Okay, so all right. This is how
just it looks like front running shit, like where he does it, but then he looks
right. No, it is.
He's got to figure. He's finding himself.
Listen to me. That's the difference, right? Before it's Cat quiet as a mouse and just nodding his head and stuff like that. I'm not confident at all. Now I'm a little overconfident. And I be talking shit when I shouldn't talk shit. And so it's a development thing. I'm reaching.
Make it till you make it.
But the next step is I need to find myself who I am within that.
Okay.
Yep.
And be comfortable with that.
That's fair.
And that's when you get the monster. That's when you get the monster.
But we'll see.
So, I see what KDot's saying. So I understand that.
I'd give it another year. I really would. I'd give it another year.
Now, let me ask you this question. I'm be honest.
Let me ask you this question, KDot.
But I see where KDot coming from.
Let me ask you this question: Is there a player out there that you would switch Cat for in this moment?
To be honest,
like a big man, huh?
Joel.
No, like one you can actually get, man. Like realistically,
what?
Like,
but that's
like for like.
But that goes into what is. I don't know if who's his equivalent.
That's what I'm trying to search for, really.
Who's
and Bam is the closest you can think of in terms of that, but he's not. He's not
like you would think of like AD, but AD's just better.
Yeah, you think? Yeah, he might be available. But
all right, so I think this is a good question.
You only gonna get 53 games though.
That's the point. 80's current injury risk for Cat. Do you do that? If I'm Minnesota, do I take that?
They'd have to throw me in. They'd have to give me something else, and they don't have the spades. They don't have enough. They'd have to give me something else.
They give you THT. They've been trying to offload him for like 3 years.
He'd have to be included regardless. And now give me another piece. I need a. All right. So if you're looking at Lakers roster, give me THT and Kendrick Nunn. We good. We good now.
I don't think. I want to
pick two, but we good.
The Lakers wouldn't do that.
No, they wouldn't.
Like they would want something for like something other than Cat too.
Nah, they're gonna hire Mark Jackson to suck next year. Love it.
I still think they're gonna go after Nurse or the Jazz coach Snyder.
To be honest, and this is to be honest now, this is like where I felt like the Pelicans went wrong with AD was they tried to grow too fast, too quickly. They were like, it was like in the second or third year, like, oh, let's get Drew Holiday. Boom. And like, let's like, instead of like making a pick at 6 and, drafting and growing through that way, building through the draft, kind of like what Golden State did. And so with Anthony Edwards, he's only this is year 2, year 3, year 2?
2.
Year 2, right? This is year 2. All right. We don't need him to grow too fast. Like, so what I would do, honestly, in my opinion, the best trade out there is with Golden State. And it's offloading Cat to them you got to do something with Wiggins, though. He got to go somewhere because you need his contract to make it work, but he got to go somewhere else.
Wiggins ain't going back to Minnesota.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's not going back to Minnesota. He got to go somewhere. So it's going to have to be a three-team trade. But Golden State has the pieces in that you can get a Wiseman, you can get a Kuminga, you can get Moody. They have young pieces that you would want to put with Anthony Edwards. Can you imagine Anthony Edwards and Jonathan Kuminga? Bro.
Now, if you're Golden State, why would you do that?
And so this is what I was going to say. If you Golden State, a lot of fans, even though I agree with KDot's point earlier, a lot of fans feel like if they had made a trade, like with the picks that they have had, like for a better player, they'd be in a better position to win now. And so they've sacrificed a little win now to win now and later. And they're in
a great spot to win now too.
They're in a good spot. But let me ask you this. So then they had the 7th pick. They had the 2nd pick overall. You wouldn't have traded that at that point before, coming off, you're expecting Klay to come back. You got Steph. You're going to not use that number 2 pick to trade for somebody like a Karl Anthony Towns. You're talking about 2 years ago now. We're talking about 2 years ago. You want to trade it for a Karl Anthony Towns. You want to trade it for a Ben Simmons, whatever, just whatever the case may be. They should have made a trade. Ideally, they should have made a trade. That's what the Lakers would have done. That's what LeBron would have done.
Let me ask you. Well, if you're saying what LeBron would have done, like you see where they at now. All right, so
to there's fair, that. LeBron has also pushed some teams into win now mode and won. He wins. He just drains everything from you
because he's him.
He's a succubus. Like he wins.
He can't make the calls on who. He can pressure a franchise into saying we have LeBron. We need to win now. But it's not LeBron can't be the one to make the picks on personnel.
Right. So, all right, for example, here's what I thought Braun was wrong when they traded Wiggins for Love. Turns out he was right. He was right, though. Turns out he was right. Because of what Wiggins was, maybe he's different with LeBron.
He's different with LeBron. Come on.
But do they go to a championship with that team? Who's your like? You know what I'm
saying? I don't know if they go the first. But that's the thing is that I'm looking at the development and what happens with that team like over the course of a few years. They're in a much
maybe.
That's my thing is like, do they have immediate success? Probably not. But I'm looking at
it's a maybe. It's a maybe. And
that's because of hindsight.
It's a maybe, right? It's a maybe.
Right. And then Kevin Love from Minnesota is not the same Kevin Love he got in Cleveland.
Right. Agree. I agree. I completely agree. But I think that has to do with usage and how he was played and stuff like that too.
And the same could have been for Wiggins if he would have played next to LeBron.
Yeah, I agree. But it's a big. He's never had a motor though. That's not unquestionable. He needed the game to be simplified for him. He shouldn't have.
All right, if Wiggins was playing with LeBron, don't you think LeBron would have rubbed off on him in terms of how he works?
Who has LeBron rubbed off on? Well,
I don't know.
Now you gotta say pause for that one. All right.
I'm just saying, I
didn't feel like thinking.
I'm just saying, as a young player,
I can say THG.
I know a lot of guys respect him, love playing with him and stuff like that. But from a young guy perspective, Kyrie didn't like him. Ingram didn't like him like that. Zoe liked him, but I don't think it's a thing where it's oh my God, LeBron rubbed off on me. I'm great now. No. He's not Jordan in that way. He's not Kobe in that way. He's he's your friend, and he's not building you to want to be better. He just you
can build somebody to want to be better without
you can
the other parts.
But we're also talking about somebody who has very bad body language, is passive aggressive, and people don't respond well to that because they are grown men and they want you to talk to them to their face.
These are kids that coming in the league, bro.
They consider themselves grown men.
Everybody considers themselves grown men, but they not.
And they want
not yet.
It doesn't matter what they are. They want respect, and they want to be.
Oh, yeah, not everybody deserves respect. And I don't care if you're a kid, you deserve respect.
Right, and passive aggressive. That's not.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's weak.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm thinking about. I'm flipping through those Cleveland teams.
Yeah.
Wiggins, Kyrie, and Bron could have been something.
Yeah.
I was so quick.
Hey, wait. You actually did it. Booby.
I was like, it's a young Jordan and Pippen. Let's go. He got it. He got his.
It made no sense to me. But that's the other thing is that you got to look at it from Wiggins' mental state. Yo, I'm about to go play one of the most exciting young guys in the league in Kyrie. Holy shit. Then he sees the news. LeBron's going to Cleveland too? Oh my God. This is going to be amazing. I'm going to Minnesota.
Hey, I do you one better. Do you remember when Colin Sexton got drafted? Yo, LeBron. Hey, let's win some shit. I'm in Cleveland, which sucks, but I'm with LeBron. Oh, LeBron going to LA? Fuck.
I think when everything happens, I think Andrew Wiggins just thinking he'd be able to play with Kyrie, because you got to remember what Kyrie was like back then. That was an exciting fucking squad, man. That was we're putting together some pieces. I think Andrew Wiggins' career looks a lot differently if he doesn't get traded for what seems like it's just an after. We don't care. We literally don't. You phenom this, that, and the other. LeBron wants Kevin. You're gone. And you go to Minnesota where you don't have any killers in that way. It's just it's.
Guess what? He's getting his revenge now because he's with Golden State.
No, it worked out perfectly for him.
Now,
that worked out.
Yeah, it didn't work out perfectly.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say perfectly.
It would have been nice if he was in Cleveland with LeBron, won a chip, then went to Golden State, now. But yeah,
I also think it changes that dynamic between maybe Bron and Kyrie's relationship back then too. I don't know. There's a lot that happened. There's a lot of butterfly effect.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Any more NBA stuff you guys want to get to? I think we kind of got to all the stuff.
I got a question.
Okay.
Did y'all see how the Jazz are imploding right now though?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Fuck them.
And Royce O'Neal, did y'all saw those plays, right? That was beyond dirty. Did y'all watch the game?
I missed it. No, I saw Twitter talking about it. I missed it though.
It's Utah playing. I'm not watching that.
For sure.
Nah, Royce O'Neal was on the court for 2 minutes and he had a couple offensive fouls. He scored no points. He played 20 minutes, no points, 4 personal fouls, most of them offensive because you just run into people. He put an elbow on Jalen Brunson's back because he couldn't guard him. And then Brunson got hurt. He had to lead the game. And then he came back and still cooked his ass. It was just beyond dirty. If you look at any of the tweets, just massively dirty. There was no need.
Right, you're a Dallas fan. That's why we're talking about it.
Oh yeah.
I got it. It took me a second.
One thing. Wait. You're right.
Why are we talking about this?
No, you're right. That's one thing.
People were talking about it on Twitter.
Number two, after I believe the Jazz will lose the series, I think they're gonna blow the team up. And
I don't care. Yeah. I don't care, but I do not care about Utah and Denver. I cannot stress this enough. I don't give a fuck.
You care about Donovan Mitchell.
But I was gonna say, quick
He's
question.
not playing. I don't care.
He is playing. The fuck are you talking about?
No, I mean, no. Here,
Cat and D'Angelo Russell for Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert.
To where?
No. I don't want to watch. I'm gonna watch Anthony Edwards play. I don't want to watch them play with him.
Donovan Mitchell just plays hero ball. That's one. Two, with Rudy Gobert, he just can't play certain series.
What do you mean by that?
Rudy Gobert should not be playing in this series.
He'll be played off the floor against some of the best teams, like a Golden State, like a any team that is like gonna go small.
That has like their five that can shoot threes because he's not going out there.
Yeah.
And he can't move his feet well in that situation. If you have him protecting the paint, cool. But other than that, it's just an L.
I know. That's why I think he's overrated as fuck.
He's overrated.
I don't think it's like he's overrated.
He's overrated. He's over fucking rated. He's overrated. I get the difference. I get the fucking points.
This sounds weird because like you love big men.
I don't like the way he plays.
I was
he
gonna
plays
say,
like the old school way.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
I'm just saying he can't guard he can't guard the people that the stretch fives. He can't guard them.
No, he can't. But he doesn't play the old school way either, though. He doesn't. He can't.
You know what I mean?
He can't put his back to the basket.
There you go.
I mean, he tries to, but they just don't pass him the ball.
No,
Donovan Mitchell's playing hero ball.
He's shown that he can't.
He's good. He's good in the pick and roll.
And that's it, yeah. But that's not like the old school way. I'm saying you drop it down to Rudy Gobert and you know that's 2 points. That's never happened.
Yeah.
That's never a thing.
Ever.
All right, let me ask this question. When's the last time you seen the Jazz try it?
I think they don't try it because he can't.
Come on.
And
he can.
To be fair, I think they should give Rudy Gobert the ball when there's a 6'2" guy on him in the post.
Oh, yeah, but they don't do it.
They should give him the ball more.
That's the difference between him and Cat. At least he tries.
But what I'm saying though is if
Cat gets back out of the paint by a 6'2" guard.
We just talked about how soft Cat is. I would not give Rudy Gobert the ball if Cat was on him.
Thank you.
All right, let me ask you this question. They don't give they don't give Cat the ball when fucking Steph Curry's on him.
Cat don't be trying to get it aggressive. He don't like, I got Steph on. He don't do that. He don't do that.
I seen him do that. But what happens is they do that and he can't back nobody down. I don't know why the fuck he can't do it, but he just can't do it. What was it? Norman Powell?
Yeah,
they played the Clippers.
5'6". What is Norman Powell? Something like
that motherfucker could not back Powell down at all in the paint. I'm like, fam, he's a fucking shooting guard. Why can't you back him down?
Yeah.
At least Gobert can do that. He gonna get fouled, but he gonna do it.
One last thing into the NBA before we move on to something else. Right. If the Sixers win, we're changing the name of this podcast to KDot's show for like 6 months.
And then what happens if
my last thing on the NBA, James Borrego got fired, Charlotte Hornets head coach. I'm very excited. This makes me so happy. I want them to get a coach because I didn't like the way he managed like LaMelo's minutes. Some games he'd play like 25, 28 minutes and others he'd play like 38. And it'd be like a situation where like he was playing well just from he's passing the ball, he's scoring well, and they're not like putting him back in for like the fourth quarter. They're not putting him back in, for long stretches of time. And I just didn't like the way he used LaMelo. I do hope they get a good coach. Like Frank Vogel will be a good coach for them. They're in that, hey, we're not a championship caliber team. Who?
Mark Jackson.
I'd be okay with Mark Jackson. They need the development coach. The development, but I'm a good enough coach to get you to the playoffs, and I'm not the championship type of coach. They don't need the championship coach yet, but they need the Tom Thibodeau, the Frank Vogel, the Mark Jackson type of coach where it's like, hey, yeah, Doug Collins, where it's like, hey, we're a playoff team now and we're gonna be good, and that's it.
I think Jordan should just coach him.
He hates them. I've seen some of his reactions. He hates them. Like I see some of his reactions when they play. Like
when he just walks away.
I might get season tickets next year though, depending on who they get. We'll see.
That Collins is fucking 70, bro.
I know. I'm just saying like that mode of coach, not him necessarily.
Okay. I was like,
No, not him. That was always Doug Collins' job. He's the coach before you get the championship coach. You let him coach you for 4 years, and then they bring in the championship coach. And that's that.
I wonder what he's doing now.
Because Doug Collins was coaching the Bulls before Phil got there, right?
Yeah.
And
then there's that what happened behind the scene thing. And then
Yep.
Kind of went away. But I always like Collins. I like I always like him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Good guy. I like him. But yeah, so that's it for the NBA. We do have something to talk about the NFL, especially in relation to me. Deebo Samuel wants to be traded, and he should be traded to the Ravens. But but what do you guys think about him wanting to be traded?
It's not about the money, which became,
isn't it?
Kind of a little bit no. Like it's more about the usage, right? They use him as a running back.
Wide back. That's the terminology.
But you get what I'm saying though, right?
Yeah.
The shelf life of a running back is small, and then there's a bunch of issues after you're playing. And he's like, first off, you guys are using me like this, and you're not paying me. And so it's kind of like I don't think he wants to be used or viewed as a running back, which is kind of what he's been saying. So that just makes sense. So you go to Baltimore, like I'd rather you try to use him as like an Anquan Bolden or a Steve Smith rather than a running back.
Foregone conclusion.
Yeah, but
it should be.
It should not be. All right, sorry. Are you still going, James?
No.
All right. It's the combination of the two things, right? Usage compared to pay, especially guaranteed pay, right? So last year, the entire season, or at least the second half of the season, why I was so high on San Francisco was when they finally realized that they could give the ball to Deebo out of the backfield, right? And it changed the entire dynamic of the way that offense ran for the rest of that season through their playoff run. Deebo knows he is the absolute most valuable person on that team, period. It's what it is. Now, I understand that San Francisco, I actually think even if they were to lose him, could figure out a way in which they could run their offense, especially behind Shanahan's run scheme, that they'll still be in the conversation as long as that defense plays well, but they're not going to have the same. They could literally know that we have a cheat code in Deebo that's going to get us an X amount of victories pretty much as the year goes on. And I think what we're seeing right now is the day of basically the unicorn player, the dude that does it all. This reminds me of Le'Veon in Pittsburgh when Le'Veon's like, hey, do you see how many receptions I'm getting a year? Do you see how many fucking carries I'm getting a year? And you guys want me to play for anything less than basically like, you got to pay me as a topper echelon running back and receiver if you want me to fucking stay here and get used this way. And that to me is what those guys should be commanding. They don't play like the average running back and they don't play like the average wide receiver. They're the combo. So Christian McCaffrey is the thing that I've been alluding to more than anything. Christian McCaffrey is a dude that I've drafted more than I'm willing to admit in fantasy because we all know what it's going to fucking end up being when the season starts. You see how many weeks he's actually fucking healthy. And you look at it, he's 10 pounds lighter than fucking Deebo. It's fucking ridiculous. Like there's an element of like Deebo knows if they play me the same way, not to mention this year, they're going to play him more because they didn't even realize they could have him in the backfield until like week 8. Mm-hmm. The amount of usage is going to be off the charts, which is something that as soon as the Mike McDaniels thing happened in Miami, the first thing I told Tyreek was I said it here on the podcast, Tyreek, you're going to need to bulk up because he's going to try to use the exact same way.
Tyreek is just one small ass muscle. He's a muscle.
He's taking that hit.
I don't know if you saw Le'Veon's tweet, but he kind of like came out and supported Deebo. And then like some random like Twitter user asked him, and they were just like, Le'Veon, be honest, like, would you have like done it differently, like taking the contract or whatever? And then he was like, I would just play wide receiver.
Yeah. And that's kind of what Deebo wants to do. Like,
and that's
draft me as a receiver. Like, don't try to put me in running back.
And it's probably the wisest choice, right? Like, you can still get the skill set and stuff that he was getting, the production from him to a certain degree. If you can be clever in the way that you scheme that offense, you can still get a lot of production from around the line of scrimmage, but not in between the tackle running, which is that's the most damaging to your body and your longevity in the NFL.
Yeah, or like running rice routes when you're like doing like a little curl across the middle.
That's also fair. But that's the thing is like, if you're Deebo, you say, hey, you're either going to pay me, and I'm talking about like this is where people need to kind of change where their perspective is on this. And once again, like every episode of every podcast I do, fuck the Jacksonville Jaguars. They ruined they blew up everything this offseason. But if I'm Deebo, I walk in there and I'm like, hey, I need to get paid like a top 10 receiver plus a top 10 running back. So whatever the top 10 guys, average that shit out and give me half of that on top of the other shit. If you want me to be this guy for you. And
but
I see it
fair. I think it's easier with a guy like Deebo as opposed to Christian McCaffrey because Deebo's more so like a top 25 running back and a top 10 receiver. Instead, like his running back number, it's not like he went crazy and ran for 1,000 yards. They're like 500 yards and like eight touchdowns.
60, but the 60 carries. But I think the thing that I'm looking at Deebo is
that's third down back money.
See, so like Deebo it's the same shit with Cordell Patterson in Atlanta.
Yeah, he took a fucking pay cut to go back and do that shit.
I know. Like the 49ers could have just signed him and had him do that shit and leave Deebo to be out wide. And then now you're double fucked because guess what? You could interchange that. And Cordell Patterson could do kickoffs.
And Deebo could do kickoffs. You just his usage
at
that
that
point.
See, but you don't do that to your top receiver. Like you look at players that are like the best receiver on the team, but they also can return kicks and shit.
Deshaun Jackson, Percy Harvin,
and AB. They only put them in those situations when it's absolutely necessary.
They need to have it. I
because
get
you don't want to put unnecessary damage on your top players. And that's what the 49ers are doing. And they're not paying him.
I get it. But I'm saying that like, and where Keem's point is, as far as what the top 10 example I gave was not about, it was just saying it like ethereally. I think that we have to look at these jack of all trades players a little differently than we look at your standard running back or your I think that if you start off as a running back, it's almost expected for you to do the receiving thing too. If you're not going to be one of the bruising backs, right? I think Marshall Faulk, LaDainian Thomas has got to broke the mold there. And people are just of the idea that you can be a receiving back and still expected to carry the ball in between the tackles for a certain amount of time. The receivers now doing it is different. Like you saw certain aspects of it, like Percy Harvin, as you mentioned, was just a pure athlete. They could line him up everywhere. But now that you look across the league and a lot more teams are kind of finding that guy to do this thing. We need to kind of readjust the way we look at it salary wise, or at least have the players, running backs, receivers, and dudes to do everything get treated a lot differently as far as where the guaranteed money is, because the shelf life's not going to be great.
Not at all.
Yep. I agree.
So
what do you guys think? What were you going to say?
You got.
I was gonna say, where do you guys think he should go? Like, where's his best fit? Obviously, I think it's the Ravens. For me personally, I think the way they could use him, if he can get wide back money, fuck all that. Because we ain't gonna have to play Hollywood that much. He's not that great. We got some wide back money for you. You can play a little running back with running a little read option with Lamar. And then you can get out wide as well and do that thing, because we need a receiver who's physical. Who can catch a fucking 10 and back and then make some shit happen. So I think the best fit is the Ravens. I think Rich Eisen agrees with me. And a couple other people do too. But yeah, what do you guys think he should go?
I think y'all should get DK Metcalf. Outside of that, I would say besides the Ravens, I would say maybe Green Bay.
I heard that they're one of the three teams that are interested.
Because they don't have a receiver.
Like, was it Lions, Packers, and Jets?
Lions.
Yeah.
They're not trading him to Green Bay though, even though they beat their ass in the playoffs. They're not trading him to Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean that's fair, but I mean, what is Green Bay offering? Like, let me ask you this question: If you had Deebo on your team and you had to trade him like the 49ers got to, and Pittsburgh offered you 2 first-round picks, but everybody else offered you a second, what would you do? Would you take the 2 first or the second?
Yeah, but that's a huge disparity. It'd be more
like
2 first or like 1
We don't know what the teams are offering.
Yeah, you also got to understand it's Green Bay, and they never offer anything crazy in a trade ever. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
Deebo is one of those dudes, the same way I feel about Tyreek Hill. There's not a team in the league that couldn't use the services.
Yeah.
All right, but
somebody had a graphic and it was like 31 teams.
There literally should be everyone. And here's the thing. It should still be San Francisco trying to get him back. It should be all 32 teams.
There's not about the money with that anymore.
I don't understand the personal rift there between them. I know Shanahan can rub people the wrong way sometimes from the way he talks to people.
I just think it's a usage.
It might be a usage thing, but you can still have the conversation with your coaches about the usage and kind of change the way that happens. I feel like there's something extra that happened there. In order to make it so that there's no way in which these guys are getting, like, I'm not playing for you anymore. It feels like this should be something else that happened there. But I mean, Green Bay, Kansas City, kind of like all these, there's not a team that couldn't use his services. Just the type of player he is. He's a jack of all trades type. He can do pretty much anything you need him to do as far as lining up, which makes him, if you already have receivers, awesome. That you got somebody that you can kind of move around the field and create matchup issues and create openness for your top guy. It's just I literally don't know anyone that wouldn't be at least knocking on the door saying, "Hey, what's the asking price?" Because we're interested.
But it wouldn't make sense for us. Like, so we're one.
I would say, biggest of all the teams probably in the league. Because Minnesota could do it. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, and that could be fucking interesting.
But I trade like the money too, though.
I trade Thielen in a second in a hot.
Oh yeah.
Minute.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like, just to help them out.
That could be fucking dope. Justin Jefferson, Deebo Samuel, Dalvin Cook in the backfield. Woo boy. But then there's also, you gotta think from a usage standpoint, he only wants to play receiver, so you're not gonna throw him all around.
Right. That's why I still think it worked with Baltimore, though.
Green Bay to me is absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, the best possible landing spot for Deebo Samuel. I really don't think there's a close second as far as what, but it's a matter of, like, they lost Devontae, but they'll never ask them to do anything out of the backfield with AJ Dillon and fucking and Aaron Jones. So and you're gonna get the targets. Because guess what Aaron's not going to do? Throw to rookie receivers.
Yeah. And they lost MVS too.
Yeah, I picked him up. I just did a Madden fantasy draft. He's on my team now.
MVS.
They easily make the most sense as far as a team to go to. But if here's what I'd love to see. It's not going to happen, but I'd love to see it. I'd love to see Mike McDaniel in Miami try to figure out the capital to go get him and line him up next to Tyreek.
No. Only reason I say no because I believe in Waddle. I believe in Waddle, and I want Waddle to do his thing. And because he's fast too.
Yeah, would you trade Waddle in a package for him?
No.
Really? You're that high on Waddle?
No. Yeah, I like Waddle. I like Waddle a lot.
And not only that, but like Waddle's still in his rookie deal.
Yeah, you got to consider they got to pay him
financially. I think I'm just looking at it from a turn off the cap franchise mode. Madden.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just run it.
Those are always fun.
Other than that, y'all heard that Kadarius Toney, I think that's his name, Kadarius Toney for the Giants wants to be traded?
No, I didn't hear that. But why? He's a non-motherfucking factor. Like what do you? Hey, you want to sit down?
Whoa, what? He's a factor.
He's a non-factor.
His speed's ridiculous.
He looked good.
He had Daniel Jones throwing him the ball.
Hey, stop! Daniel Jones
isn't that bad. He's not that bad.
You want Daniel Jones on your team?
To back up Lamar, sure. Yeah, he'd be great backup for Lamar. You see how fast he run? He'd be great backup for Lamar.
Shut the fuck up.
You asked me a question.
Right. Would you want him?
Me?
Yeah.
Not now, but last year, yeah, we would have kicked tires all fucking day long.
Why not now?
I got Carson Wentz, and there's a lot of money side of him.
All right, let's say Carson Wentz can come off the book.
Do I get to see Carson for like 2 weeks?
Huh?
Can I see Carson play for 2 weeks?
I don't give a fuck.
So, like, if you're asking me like week 3, after I've seen enough of Carson, you can ask me the question. I'd be like, yeah, okay, maybe.
Look. When I heard, like, when people were talking about, like, yeah, they might trade Daniel Jones within the division or some shit. Like, there was talk at some point last year. All the other fans from the other teams in the division were like, oh, please let him go here so we can still see him. Like, people still want him to be within the division to play against them.
Daniel has never really gotten a fair shot.
I was going to say, have you seen the offensive line that he's played?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
This is why you have the ownership
what?
come out and say we've not given him anything to succeed. We're going to at least have him here another year to give him an opportunity to actually play. He's been shat on the first few years.
But what did they done to give him an opportunity to play? Did
Oh,
they fix the offensive
don't
line?
get me started on the New York just organization right now.
Did they fix anything, or they just said, "Yeah, we're gonna give him a shot"? Because he hasn't had the things he need.
No, they go.
We're
They
still
draft
not going to give him the things he need and be like, "Oh,
the New York Giants are a dumpster fire."
mm-hmm.
I don't think people understand how bad they've been the last few years.
Well,
They're really bad.
Get Tony out of there. Send him to over west, and we'll be straight.
Over west.
We need a speed receiver. We don't have a speed receiver right now.
Speaking of what we need,
Brian Edwards in the third.
We can wrap this up with what you want your team to do in the draft real quick. We don't have to make it long at all. I'll say Ravens have the 14th pick overall in the first round. And then they have, I think, about 4 or 5 fourth round picks as well. And so I think 2 thirds. So it's a draft where I think I would like to see them move up and get into that top 8 position and just get like whoever either getting offensive tackle like an Evan Neal or Charles Cross. If they fall, like I feel like that top 8 is a good sweet spot. I would be cool with them taking one of them or one of the better pass rushers if they fall to 8, where the Falcons are, or Sauce Gardner or Derek Stingley Jr. I would love to see them get up there. If they don't take that route, I like to see them kind of trade back. And then stockpile a little bit more, and then maybe get the Michigan guy who tore his ACL. Get him either later in the first or like in the top of the second. And it just I love the Ravens draft strategy, which is always like best player available, usually, and especially based on kind of a need. So I like to see they need to, huh?
Y'all don't need corners.
Yes, we do.
I just want you guys to draft another receiver so I can make fun of. Yeah.
If they draft a receiver, it needs to be George Pickens.
You know what? I just realized something. I'm not texting you on draft night.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, don't worry about it. Well, Gruden's not there.
Keem, this motherfucker called the pick just because he's like, yeah, I just think like that's a name that Gruden be like, yeah, I like the name, so I'm gonna take him. And he fucking did. And I was like, wait, that's an actual player?
Alex Leatherwood. You think John Gruden's watching Mel Kiper on TV and seeing Alex Leatherwood's name and be like, I can pass this up? Get out of here.
He jokingly said that shit in 2 minutes.
It wasn't a joke.
I also hope Kyle Hamilton falls and that we can take him. I would love to pair him with Marcus Williams. I think that'd be great. And you basically got 2 free safeties that can cover half of the field, and that would help us out a lot. So I would love
Peters
that.
And Humphreys, like
what? Okay, all right. Okay, see, now you're gonna make me do this. Let me break this down for you, James.
Yeah,
they're both coming off season-ending injuries.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 wide receiver lineups. Who's our slot cornerback, James?
I think we took him. Everett, right?
Right.
So you need a slot corner,
and you need a corner. But so you need a corner though.
Yeah, but like
Marlon
I feel like I think there's multiple teams that have multiple first round picks towards the end of the first round, right? So I feel like you guys can just trade back and get multiple people rather than.
Well, that's what they want to do in the 4th round, but we need some depth at corner. Like, so it's like we have no corners after that I trust after those 2, right? Humphrey is a guy who can play the slot. In this day and age, you want 3 good starting caliber corners. And our corners always get fucking hurt.
Hey, I heard Earl Thomas is ready to come back.
He's not a corner, but good for him. Good for him. Good. Happy for him, man. Stay away from the orgies. If they're gonna cause problems with your wife. So yeah, but anyway, aside from that, I think basically I need the Ravens to come out of this with a good backup tackle, or a promising tackle, starting caliber tackle, pass rusher, corner, and maybe a big body receiver and another pass catching tight end.
So everybody.
No, just places.
All right. Well, I'm very simple. I keep mine short and quick. And KDot, you can go. We just need offensive line and defensive line. Go ahead, KDot.
Probably it was a slight dig, but all right, I'm like it.
No.
Slight.
No,
Like, you're gonna be long-winded as fuck. You know, just gonna get it.
No. I didn't say.
It's like we're at the grocery store.
Forever.
It's like we're at the grocery store. Hey man, I only got like these. Can I slide them right quick?
Nah, but like I'm talking about like left guard, center, right guard, right tackle, DN, D tackle. Like
I don't know where you're going right now.
Yeah. Like we need a lot. It's just simple to say, like offensive line, defensive line.
Kyle Hamilton, number 1, Commanders at pick 11. If he's
Drake
there, you have to fucking do it, and you do it immediately. If it's not him, I'd say one of the receivers I'm cool with. I've started to really fall in love with fucking Chris Olave, especially knowing how much him and Terry McLaurin get along. I love the idea of having all those Ohio State boys on the same team, Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin, and Olave. But if like I've seen some mock drafts where there's no receivers picked before 11, and in that case, Garrett Wilson kind of slides up because I do think he's a little more talented than Olave, but Olave is a dude that kind of fall in love with. There's also you could go after like a Drake London, which I think would be a reach if you went that high up to go get him, but he fits very much the mold of the receiver that Carson Wentz likes to throw to, which are always bigger body guys. You like Nelson Aguilar.
I don't like his routes.
Yeah, but that's fair. Which is why I'm saying I think it'd be a reach to go get Drake London there at 11. So if you do that, maybe you trade down. If we can walk out of the first round with like after trading down, maybe getting 2 first-round picks, and you can walk away with like a Devin, the linebacker out of Utah, Devin White. Is that it?
Devin White. I think he plays with Tampa Bay.
Yeah, he's a fucking goddamn it. All right, well, I looked that up. Or Drake London, like a combination of those guys. You get a middle linebacker and you get that. That would be kind of awesome. I just think Kyle Hamilton or one of those receivers that are there at the top echelon of the draft. And my third pick would be
Devin Lloyd.
Devin Lloyd. There we go. And the other guy who I think will probably be there is Derek Stingley Jr. I wouldn't mind saying a flyer at 11 with him. I know that some people might think it might be a slight reach to do it, but I'm down with it just because I think from a physicality standpoint, the motherfucker could play. Now, I know that he hasn't played the same level he did like his freshman year, and it has looked kind of weird, but I also looked at a lot of things around college and saying after COVID kind of struck, everybody's just kind of in a weird place. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at your physicality. What are your physical gifts and intangibles? And if you could do that, huh? No, I'm not. How fast can you run and can you throw a ball in your knees? That's not quite what I'm saying. It's a little different. So if there's that, he'd be my third choice. But right now, without a shadow of a doubt, top choice at pick 11, if he's there, slam dunk, you have to do it as Kyle Hamilton.
Okay.
Yep. You guys don't deserve the next A Reed though. So let's send him to the better area in the DMV. Let's send him to the better
right
team.
there at number 14. I had to sit down and watch Micah fucking Parsons get drafted. 8 picks before fucking Davis last year. And it pissed me off to no end. Even though I still think Davis could be something.
I keep hearing Washington Commanders fans say they don't want Hamilton anymore because he thinks Drake is better than MJ.
Good.
That shit was funny.
Good.
Here's what also about Kyle Hamilton. He goes to Notre Dame. Fucking hate Notre Dame. Hate him. But when I look at Kyle Hamilton, and I see his hair, I see what it looks like. I understand.
I already knew he was going to say. I
get it. You went to Notre Dame and you like Drake. Okay, bud. I get it.
Final thoughts. It's time for final thoughts. I will start. I want to start.
He's 100% dated a girl named Casey.
This is a coke heavy weekend for me, not as a
it's
user.
It's my black boyfriend, Kyle, Dad.
All right. Why you do that, fam? I'm looking.
That's why I said I know where he's going. I'm not going to entertain this right now. But he is right. But I'm not. This is not. I have to get out of here.
Oh no.
This is a cocaine heavy weekend for me, guys. And I'm not talking about using it. I've never used cocaine. It's not for me. But Pusha T dropped, and it's almost dry. And after a couple listens, good music. It's not better. It's not as good as Daytona. But he does have some. The production is so good, man. Like Pharrell did his fucking thing, and Kanye did too, man. Like it's kind of like the Pharrell. It's really the Pharrell Kanye versus. It's kind of because like they each did 6 songs. Yeah. And like I low key might like Pharrell's side a little bit more, or Pharrell's songs a little bit more. But it's good. And another cocaine related issue. Even though it's more crack than cocaine. Snowfall season finale, really good season finale. Started off kind of slow. Season 6 is the last season. I like where they're going with it. Like I said, it started off slow, but the last 4 episodes have been insane. And I can't wait to see how they finish. And that's all I got for my final thoughts. Also, Moon Knight was good, but yeah, that's it.
That last episode.
Yeah, it was good. I'm actually caught up on that one.
I still think it was the scariest moment in the MCU. It happened in that episode. I was legit kind of like, whoa.
What are you talking about?
Horror movies. When they were down in the when she was down in the thing, and then the thing came from the wall and did the pull thing.
That did scare the shit out of me.
I've never been that afraid in the MCU. I'm not gonna lie.
I was like, all right, like I kind of expected it, like
and the fucking sound was making the
echolocation, like, all right, cool. But then like when they pushed it back, I was like, come on, fam.
That was a legit freaky moment, and I was kind of
I was like, but no, I was like, how you get back out like that? Like, come on, that.
Anytime anybody asks a question like that when we're watching a fucking MCU, we saw somebody turn the sky back 2,000 years.
Yeah, that was crazy.
What's the line for you? What's the line? Where's the line?
But like, you remember you talking to, right? Like, I still remember McNulty.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Who's McNulty?
See, we do this all the time.
I know.
Like, I know it's from The Wire, but like the first thought in my mind is Black Knight. Like, stop this.
Fucking asshole. You're an asshole for that.
Like, we should do a pod where you just like teach me movies and shit. Because I'll tell you what I think. Like, shit's different.
I think it would be the end of this podcast.
I know, like, because you'd be so upset. Like,
yeah, I was serious. I don't think I
have the time yelling.
I really don't think I get that.
Yeah.
All right, my final thoughts. Yeah. The final thought I wanted to have last week that I forgot about, because you guys saw I had like this cloudy brain last week. Leave the baby alone.
Oh.
Stop. What are you trying to prove? Is he the final boss in a video game? Like, what the fuck is anyone trying to prove testing the baby?
Did you see the story though?
I was going to say, what's wild is what happened last night.
I literally, before we started, I saw something popped up on Twitter. I didn't get to watch it yet.
He punched one of his artists.
His own artist.
Like, he pulled up on him and like, pow, punched him at like a backstage at a concert. Like,
oh really?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Mike Tyson.
No. The baby punched somebody else like last night.
All right. Second part. Thanks, James. Second part of my final thought. The Mike Tyson thing. Anyone equating the Mike Tyson thing with the Will Smith, Chris Rock thing, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's completely.
It's a different thing. Being harassed at like nonstop on an airplane where you can't get away, and nobody from the flight attendants, the stewards, or anybody on that plane not trying to step in and help him out was a whole other thing that we need to kind of unpack. But I get it. Now, do I think Mike should have probably stopped after the first couple? Yeah. But I get, and I understand at that point, this dude is harassing you.
You saw his face after?
Stop. Huh?
You saw his face after? Like when he was like, he deserved more. Like, again.
He knew what he was doing.
The swelling hadn't started yet, James. Wait till it swell up.
When he gets off the plane. When the oxygen level and all that.
Wait till it swell up.
The face, he was like, like he did like little duck lips. No, you need 1 or 2 more.
All right, and then the last thing I got to say, I'm on the final episode of Yellowstone. I've marathoned it like I treat all these shows, which has been a very, very tiring experience. Yellowstone is good. It's not great. It's pretty good. Has some great moments. It is Sons of Anarchy on horses. I'm so
excited. I can't wait to watch it now.
It's Sons of Anarchy on horses, but note what I'm saying. It's Sons of Anarchy on horses. This is 2020, like near 20. I don't know, what, 2018, 2019 in the show? Guys on the horses compared to bikers, very different lifestyles. So unpack what I said. It's Sons of Anarchy on horses. They're not just biker. It's like, you're a cowboy. You got a job to do, right? You can't just be driving around on your motorcycle. Lord knows what you do. So there's a balance there. It's well worth watching. And Kevin Costner is fucking killing it, as well as I think Karen Riley, I think her name is, who plays his daughter. Quality show, and I'm excited, and also bittersweet moment that I'm going to finish it probably in the next hour.
Okay.
What was it? Oh, and We on the Night coming out this weekend or Monday.
Yeah, I was going to say Monday.
All right, 2 parts. First, I'm finally taking my wife to the African American Museum on Monday. I'm really excited. We're going to spend like 8 hours there. It's going to be the best shit of this year for me. That's one. My family has a lot of history in that building, so it's going to be real cool. She's going to be annoyed the fuck out of me. Like, she's going to be annoyed by me so much. It's going to be great. 2, I think Rudy Gobert can be a big piece to a championship team. He just needs a coach that knows how to use him in what spots, which is why I hope he comes to Dallas. And I think the Mavericks are going to win the finals. That's it.
Yeah, you already made the prediction.
I know. I just want to say it again.
Can I ask you a question about the African American History Museum?
Yeah.
Just one.
It's like my 4th time going.
I know. Would you be disappointed depending on her reaction on
I knew
certain
you were
things?
going to say that. I knew you were going to fucking
No, because we've had a lot of combos. Like, I went to when I went to her hometown in Mexico, we went to like one of the museums, and there was like the history of their independence and like what the actual day was, because it's not Cinco de Mayo, but like, yeah. So I didn't know that. Like that's how it's like, oh, it's Mexican independence. Like, no, it wasn't. It's like in September.
Yeah, it's a different thing on the calendar.
Yeah. So like I'm into all that shit, and so is she.
So she's into history and stuff. That's all I'm wondering.
Yeah, kind of. Especially like when I say like, yeah, this is like, she was like, she stayed with my grandma. Like, she lived in our house for a little bit, and she's like, oh, really? Yeah, like Rosa Parks was at my uncle's, like, and
I thought you meant that your wife stayed with your grandma and was like,
no,
black stuff here.
Oh yeah, no. But my grandma's a African American literature teacher, and she retired. So like, I have all this shit in my brain ingrained since I was like 3.
All right, that's dope. I'm just wondering, like, interracial relationship, you bring your significant other to the museum, they're yawning.
No, we've already had these talks.
Okay.
I've had we've had conversations on the pod in regards to like having kids and shit, and the thoughts that go into it. And like, I've had those conversations with her. Like, we sat there and we cried together, we laughed, all that shit. So it's nothing new. It's just like, you get to see all this shit, like, finally. Because at first, like, we couldn't get tickets, and then other than that, like, she was in Mexico or I was somewhere else or whatever. But now we're both here. We're gonna go.
Nothing.
Say it.
I said Delaware.
No. Like I was talking about like more like COVID, like different places, like where we couldn't do shit.
Delaware.
Delaware's not that far, but whatever.
It felt like it that day.
Shut the fuck up.
You're fucking living this nowhere.
All right, we're done. With no traffic.
Hey guys, thanks for watching another episode of ASOS. This is the ASOS crew here for you. That's the only rhyme I got.
All right, freestyle.
Bye, guys.
Like, you said your freestyle for like 30 minutes.
Shut up, bruv. You goddamn Peckerwood. All right, that's it. Cool.
Yeah, make sure Ryan's alive.
Ryan, oh, he's dead from COVID.
No. Like,
he's fucking around that Fairfax courthouse with all them Johnny Depp fucking fans.
I alluded to it. I alluded to it.
Yeah, try that again.
Yeah, I know. I did. I alluded to it. I alluded to it in the beginning of the pod. I was like,
you sound like you're doing Nutty Professor rendition. I alluded to it.
All right, I hope this thing saved. That's pretty good. You know that you know the Jamie Foxx Emmett Smith roast?
Yes.
It's your concert. You did the
this is your concert.
Hey.
That was Emmett Smith roast?
It was
Emmett Smith
It was Emmett Smith roast. It was Doug Williams who caught it. Yeah.
Oh man, still one of the greatest things. I might actually go watch that right now.
Yeah, that ruined his career.
Oh yeah, have you seen the interviews with him out there?
Yeah,
it's rough.
Like, it ruined my shit.
It's rough. It's really rough. Like Jamie really fucked this dude up. Mm-hmm. Hey, but it's just words. Fuck off. All right, I'm gonna see you guys.
All right.
Peace.